Well, a very good morning, and thank you so much for joining me here for our Sacred Sing, everybody. It is Sunday the 31st of May, and as many of you know, my other project, just this little project I have on the side called the Self-Isolation Choir, it's kind of a big day today. We're going to be putting out just a little thing. It's a trifle, really. It's a work that many people haven't really heard of, Messiah by a composer called Handel. And so that's going to be on tonight at 7:30 on the selfisolationchoir.com website. And to celebrate that and to warm our voices up for it, I thought we could spend a bit of time today enjoying the wonderful music of the Baroque era that really kind of inspired Handel to write such an amazing work. So we'll start off in a minute with our customary warm-up, and then we'll sing Bach, Zion Hears the Watchman's Voices. We'll then follow that, which we learnt last week, by the way, on the Quarantine Chorus broadcast. We'll then sing Vivaldi's beautiful Et in Terra Pax from his Gloria, which is going to feature on the Self-Isolation Choir in the summer. Then we'll sing Jesu Drive Man's Desiring, absolutely sublime music. And then we will finish this morning with Zadok the Priest. We will take a moment after Et in Terra Pax to consider what's going on in the world. There's a lot of celebration in today for those of us lucky enough to be in a position to celebrate, but there is a lot going on in the world at the moment, particularly in the States, and we send all our love to everybody over in America, and we just ask you all to just be safe and be well, everybody. We send Et in Terra Pax and in earth peace to all people is a very, very poignant sentiment at the moment. So we will pause for a moment of reflection. After that, we will sing Jesu Drive Man's Desiring to really reflect on our world and what we want to build at the end of all this. And then we will sing the wonderful Zadok the Priest to lift our spirits and send us off into Sunday. So without any further ado, dear friends, can I ask you please to stand up for me and begin to start to take some nice deep breaths. If you could, as always, plant your feet or shoulders width apart, make your knees nice and soft, straighten your back and make your neck nice and long. Ideally, your chin should be at 90 degrees with the rest of your body. And for those of you who aren't going to stand this morning for whatever reason, that's absolutely fine. Please, as always, just give yourself that same straight back, that long neck. And if you can plant your feet flat on the floor, that's fantastic. So what I'm going to ask you all to do, everybody, please, is to start to take those nice deep breaths and use this as an opportunity to relax and bring yourself into our virtual choir space. And this is an amazing thing that we've built over the last few months. Could never have predicted that this model would work in the way that it has, but it has. And what I'm seeing here as the comments stream up is people all around the world, literally all around the world, talking together and really being as friendly and as welcoming as any choir I've ever worked with, in some cases more so. And so take comfort in that, take pride in that, and most importantly, breathe in the confidence that comes from being amongst friends, and breathe out any stress, anything that's worrying you, anything that's bothering you, get rid of it. And just breathe. And imagine being in this amazing virtual space. It can look any way you like, anything you want. It can be a cathedral, it can be a concert hall, it could be a beautiful open meadow. Wherever you want to be, go there and breathe. That's wonderful. Thank you, everybody. And as we're taking those nice deep breaths in, I'm going to ask you to relax your shoulders and relax your neck. And we'll just bring our shoulders up as we breathe in. And we'll breathe out and we'll let them fall. Well done. Now I'm just going to close my window here. I've kept it open at the start of our broadcast. Please just keep breathing deeply. I'm just aware there's quite a lot of activity outside, and I don't want the cars and the vans to interrupt our sound particularly. Okay, so just as we're there taking nice deep breaths and we're relaxing our shoulders, we'll just roll our shoulders round a little bit and just loosen that up nicely. Very nice. And roll them the other way, please. Great. And bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them fall. Thank you, everybody. Okay. And we're going to tilt our head over to one side to just feel the stretch along the long side. And to the middle and the other side. And again, just stretching the muscles here, not being too vigorous or harsh. Bring your head to the middle and now forwards, please. And to the middle. And within those 3 movements, just left, right and forwards, just let your head very gently roll around and loosen yourselves up. That's great. Thanks, folks. Well done. Let's do a bit of gentle humming. We're going to start in a moment with the Bach. Remember, this is a low version of the Bach. And apologies to those of you sopranos. I think at this time in the morning you'll be happy with the low pitch, and we'll build to the handle, which is a bit louder, a bit bigger. So nice long hum, please, everybody. Deep breath and. For orange. F for egg. And R. Deep breath. Lovely. Before we carry on, I'm going to have a sip of drink. If you need to as well, please do. Excuse me, everybody. Okay. And so now, after me, please. Ya, ya, ya. Lovely. My turn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. One more. Me, me, me. Thanks very much indeed, folks. So that's the highest note we're going to need for the first 3 songs, and by the time we get to Zadok the Priest, those of you who need to give me some top F sharps and some top Gs, well, I think your voices will be warmed enough at that point to attempt those high notes without the aid of a safety net. So we'll start now with the first piece, which is Zion Hears the Watchman's Voices. This is from Bach's Cantata, Wachet auf, which is his, I think, Cantata 140. And Bach wrote hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these beautiful works for church services, and they were to be sung. They weren't designed to be sung in concert from beginning to end. They were to be sung at times throughout the service, and he had to write one for every single week of the year, and he did so. In fact, he wrote more than a year's worth. Many, unfortunately, have been lost to time, but this has really stood the test of time. And so if I could ask you, I'm afraid those of you watching live, I have messed up and I haven't managed to put the link to the score in today's broadcast, but it is there from when I taught it on Thursday. So if you don't have your score and you don't want to sing along with the words, and I'll put the words up here on the screen. If you want to get your score, please pause the stream, put in Homechoir and Zion, and you'll find it, and grab your score, come back, press play, and you can pick it up at that point. All right. So we'll start with the organ. I'll bring you in. There's quite a lot of organ in this one. It's a nice way to warm up for today. It is quite low, mercifully, and it'll bring us very much into the space we need to be to enjoy our sing for today. So let's enjoy together Zion Hears. All right. So, and... Zion hears the watchman's voices with glad
gladness all heart rejoices. She eager wakes to greet the day. See her Lord from heaven descending, with grace and truth and power unending. Her day star dawns with brightest ray. O come, thou blessed one, Lord Jesu, God's own Son. Hosianna. We follow there, thy feast to share, and taste the joys beyond compare.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for singing along with that one. I'm sure you'll agree it's just the most beautiful piece of music. And just for those of you who love singing it in the original German, of course, to my dear friends, to Norb and to Albert, and to everybody joining us from Germany, we will learn the chorale from that cantata in German, because it is just beautiful. We'll learn that in 4 parts after my break, and just, I'm sure you'll all love it. So we're going to move on now. We're going to sing in Latin now. We're going to sing this beautiful piece of Vivaldi. And again, as I said at the start, there is so much. There is a lot going on in the world. There was the news story about the self-isolation choir, which I may have mentioned a few dozen times. The wonderful Boswells, Nora and Andrew, who were interviewed on that, said that the self-isolation choir was it was a plus in the time of minuses, and there's a lot of minuses. If you look up what's going on in the world at the moment, aside from coronavirus, there's a lot of unrest. And so let's sing this piece and dedicate this to everybody in the world who we want to help, that we want to reach out and send love to, There is such a need for peace and love in the world. And if we can be the start of that with whatever we do, whether it's singing into a camera, whether it's being a frontline NHS worker, whether it's just being lovely to somebody, then let's do all we can. Shall we, folks? So if you could get your scores for this one. Again, this one was done a week, not this week, week before, on the Homechoir channel. So if you need your free score and you're watching live, pause the stream, put in Homechoir, et in Terra Pax into YouTube. You'll find the broadcast, you can find the score, and come and join us. If you're watching later, I will put the links in. So let's sing this beautiful one in harmony if you can, folks. But otherwise, if you just want to let the sound wash over you, it is a very, very, very moving and very beautiful piece. So let's enjoy Vivaldi's Et in Terra Pax. Thank you, everybody. As I said, a beautiful, beautiful piece and very, very timely. I'd like us to just, as we do every Sunday, to just bow our heads just for a minute. And if you just want to use this as a minute of silence to just think about the world and our place in it, then please do that. If you want to say a prayer, then please feel free to do so. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so we'll carry on now with a piece of just sublime beauty. Again, another piece of Bach. I'll be honest, you can't go wrong with Bach. His music transcends humanity almost. It is an absolute beauty. Many of you will know of the Voyager spacecraft that were launched by NASA in the 70s, I believe, and are the only evidence that humanity exists outside of our solar system. They have actually left our solar system and are in interstellar space. And the late great Carl Sagan was asked to put together a golden record of music to go on that. If you remember, and it's got the sounds of Earth, the sounds of humanity, and on that is some of Bach's music. Ironically, his Brandenburg concertos. The wonderful second Brandenburg concerto with the trumpet playing, and it's just an incredible fact that Bach probably didn't ever get to hear those pieces played, and yet that particular piece and his music is now out in amongst the galaxy, in the stars, as a testament to what we are and what we can be. And so, again, having reflected on Peace on Earth, as we sing this sublime piece of Bach, I want you to really think about what it means to everybody, and what it means to you to be a singer, to be a person, to be alive on the earth right now, and the responsibility that we have to everybody. So let's sing together, Jesu joy of man's desiring.
Jesu, joy of man's desiring, holy wisdom, love most bright. driving still to truth unknown, soaring, dying round thy throne.
Thank you, everybody. Another sublime piece by really the master of Baroque music, Johann Sebastian Bach. Thank you, everybody. So, that brings us almost to the end of our sacred sing today. And usually we would sing a gospel piece at this point. I'd loosen the tie and we'd have fun. Well, today we're going to have a huge amount of fun, but we're not going to sing a gospel piece today, everybody. That'll be next week. I don't think I'm going to include anything classical next week. We will have sacred music from the folk tradition and from the gospel and spiritual tradition. So we've done a huge amount of those on the channel. So we'll sing things like Wade in the Water and Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel and Great Day and Good News and all of those wonderful pieces to celebrate us being back on the air. But today is Hallelujah Day. It's been a day that's been in the making for over 2 months, and it doesn't sound like a long time, but the amount of work that's gone into Messiah is colossal. I don't think I've ever worked as hard on any one thing in my life. I mean that. It's just been huge. So I really hope every one of you out there watching will come along, and if you can't watch live, it doesn't matter. You can watch it. It'll be, once it's up, it'll be up for several weeks at least. We'll have CDs on sale for those of you that want to buy it. That will go to support the musicians who took part in the project. We'll also be donating some of the proceeds of that to charity. Some of the proceeds from the CD will go to support me, which is always appreciated as well, particularly at the moment. And so, do please look out for that, and do come along and watch tonight. If you're in the choir, of course, you know all about this, and you are as excited as I am, I'm sure, to hear it all come together. Make sure you look after your voices today. Make sure you hydrate yourselves. But this piece, Zadok the Priest, this is almost the pinnacle of Handel's composing. He wrote 4 coronation anthems for King George: Zadok the Priest, The King Shall Rejoice, Let Thy Heart Be Strengthened, and one other which I can't remember at the moment. My Heart Is Inditing, that's it. And they are all wonderful, well worth a listen. If you want to get into the mood for Handel, you could do worse than listen to that. Those of you who are new to the style, who haven't really heard him before but really like Messiah, just very quickly, a couple of the pieces you might want to listen out for. Obviously the water music and the fireworks music by Handel are wonderful. Always try and listen to the Baroque version though. Much more exciting, I find. So look out for Trevor Pinnock's versions of these. And one of my favourite sets of music by Handel are his Concerto Grosso, Grosso. And these are group concertos. So it's not a solo concerto with one person at the front soaring away. It's a concerto for an orchestra and a small group of soloists. And his concerto, he wrote quite a few, 2 sets in fact. And they are so beautiful. So if you like Messiah and you want to hear more, the coronation anthems, the water music, the fireworks music, and the Concerti Grossi are all sublime, and I recommend them all to you highly. But for today, we're going to sing Zadok the Priest. Now, there is a link to the score. I managed to do that at least. So do please go and grab your scores. Make sure you've had a drink of water. Remember, this is quite a sing. Save your voices, okay? Gentlemen, keep yourselves in the falsetto range for this one. Similarly, ladies, don't go full belt. You're going to need every note for Messiah later, but use this to just warm up that top range. I'm going to have a sip of my drink. Cheers, everybody. And then I'm going to turn it over to the orchestra. And remember, this piece has the greatest introduction to any choral work ever written. And if you're interested, the greatest ending to any choral work ever written, I think, is Parry's "I Was Glad." And if you don't know the work, listen to it after the broadcast. Oddly enough, we're doing it on the on the Self-Isolation Choir Summer School. Just a little plug there. So let's enjoy, everybody. Zadok the Priest. Here we go. Oh, there's a bit of a delay at the start. I've just remembered. So just make sure, as I said, you've got your scores, you've got your drinks, and I'm going to turn it over to the orchestra about now.
Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, anointed Solomon King. And all the people rejoiced, rejoiced, and all the people rejoiced, 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 and all the people rejoiced, 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 and said, God save the King, long live the King, God save the King, may the King live forever. Amen, amen, alleluia, alleluia, amen. Amen, 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 alleluia, amen. God save the King, long live the King, may the King live forever. Amen, amen, alleluia, alleluia, amen. Amen. May the King live, may the King live forever, forever, forever. Amen, amen, alleluia, alleluia, amen. Alleluia, amen, 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 alleluia, 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 amen. Long live the King, God save the King, long live the King, may the King live, may the King live forever, 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 amen, amen, alleluia, alleluia, amen, 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 alleluia, amen, alleluia, amen, amen, alleluia, alleluia.
Well, there you are. Ladies and gentlemen, amen, alleluia. Thank you, everybody, for joining me live today. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this this home choir business that started all of this. I mean, self-isolation choir would not be what it is if it weren't for home choir, and home choir wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for you. I would never have been in touch with Mark if you hadn't subscribed, if you hadn't got my numbers up and supported me, and so Messiah would not sound and look the way it does. And so this is such a privilege for me to be able to make music and to be supported by all of you. So thank you. The last 3 months have been phenomenal. I can't wait to see what the next 3 months produce for us. There'll be some fantastic music coming out in the next few weeks for you to enjoy. I've got a piece of Beethoven, one of the movements of his symphonies, coming out in the Quarantine Orchestra, and those files are pouring in, so I'll be editing those over the next few weeks. A real treat, beautiful piece. There'll be another piece of Beethoven later in the summer, which I'm going to need your help with. It's not the Ninth Symphony, but it's close. So I'll tell you more about that. I'll be asking for some contributions from you. We're going to do Paul Ayre's beautiful We'll Play Our Part as a mosaic video. So loads and loads and loads of fun to be had. I'm going to be off for a week after tonight. I'll be honest, folks, no offense. I am so tired. I'm so looking forward to just relaxing for a week and not worrying about broadcasting. And then when I see you in a week's time, I shall be a new man. And so, dear friends, all my love from me to all of you, wherever you are around the world. I do have to say a very, very quick hello in particular to George and Diane, who are now international superstars and have been seen all around the world. But to each and every one of you, thank you for being part of this. Thank you for all your support and for all your love. I will see you, well, those of you in self-isolation choir, I'll see you tonight. In fact, if you're not in the choir, you can still come along. All right, come along and you can watch the broadcast. Do watch Messiah. Do please give generously to Help for Musicians, which is the charity that is being supported tonight. But otherwise, everybody, have a great week. Be well. And I will see you soon.